The story behind the meaningful song In the Ghetto comes from the childhood of its writer, Mac Davis, an American country music singer and songwriter. But the voice that made it famous was that of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. In very few occasions, Elvis used his music to pronounce strong social messages to the masses, and this is one of those songs. Released in 1969, the song was first given to Elvis on a tape with 19 songs written by Davis. The king didn't need his famous moves to make the song In the Ghetto a powerful hit. The song talks about a poor kid born in a ghetto in Chicago, whose life and future are already written by destiny. He will eventually grow up hungry and angry, and he will start stealing and fighting for survival, and end up killed while another unfortunate baby is being born in his same condition. Mac Davis was in his late 20s when he decided to write a song titled The Vicious Circle, reference to a black boy he used to play with when he was young. Davis said, "I grew up with a little kid whose daddy worked with my daddy, and he was a black kid. We were good buddies 5 or 6 years old. I remember him being one of my best buddies, but he lived in another part of town. I couldn't figure out why they had to live where they lived, and we got to live where we lived. We didn't have much money, but we didn't have broken bottles every 6 inches. It was a dirt street ghetto where he lived," he concluded. That kid, born and raised in a ghetto, is like the boy the song talks about, as the term ghetto was just becoming popular again at that time. Since Davis could not find any word to rhyme with circle, he decided to go for In the Ghetto when he heard a guitar lick from his friend Freddie Weller. Davis said, "I didn't say anything after I heard it, and I went home that night and sat down with that lick. I started singing In the Ghetto, and by 2 o'clock in the morning I had written the song, of course. I called Freddie up, as I would do in those days, and sung him the song at 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a long silence, and he said some foul cuss word and hung up on me. That was the biggest compliment. He wasn't upset with me, he was just mad that he didn't get to write part of that song." The song reached number 3 in the Hot 100 chart and has seen a number of covers throughout the years, from Lisa Marie Presley to Marilyn Manson, from Dolly Parton to the Cranberries. And most recently on the 2020 CMA Awards, where Reba McEntire and Darius Rucker sang a duet in a tribute to Mac Davis, who just recently passed away this September 2020. The song has never lost its social relevance, indicating that America still has a long way to go before poor minority people can have the same social and economic opportunities as others. The word ghetto, especially in American culture, is nowadays associated with poverty, and it often refers to rundown neighborhoods mostly inhabited by uneducated African Americans. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the first use of this word dates back to 1611 to describe a quarter in a city, chiefly in Italy, to which the Jews were restricted. Another definition shows the word later acquired a broader meaning, a quarter in a city inhabited by a minority group or groups, usually as a result of economic or social pressures. Not by chance, the ghettos were largely used during World War II to group Jews all over Europe under Nazi domination. As references to ghettos generate many controversies and racial debates, it is not a secret that young people of whichever race living in certain areas abandoned from society struggle in their day-to-day life and are more likely to end up in dangerous and criminal environments. That vicious circle that Davis was referring to. Davis had a long and varied career in music for decades as a writer, singer, actor, and TV host, and was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2006. He was named 1974's Entertainer of the Year by the Academy of Country Music and has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Be sure to check out the career of such a great songwriter and entertainer, Mac Davis. To him, we say thank you. There are some other links to items about the song In the Ghetto and Mac Davis in the description below. And now here is my version of In the Ghetto.
As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries, 'cause if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. People, don't you understand? The child needs a helping hand, or he's gonna be an angry young man someday. Take a look at you and me. Are we too blind to see? Do we simply turn our heads and look the other way? Well, the world turns, and a hungry little boy with a runny nose plays in the streets as the cold wind blows in the ghetto. And his hunger burns, so he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal and he learns how to fight in the ghetto. Then one night in desperation, the young man breaks away. He buys a gun, steals a car, tries to run, but he don't get far, and his mama cries. The crowd gathers round an angry young man face down in the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto. As her young man dies, in cold and gray Chicago morning, another little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries.
In the ghetto, and his mama cries.